Hello my crafty friends, it's Christy over at Crafty Christy's Creations, and today I have another awesome silhouette tutorial for you. We are going to make our own tear-off notepads. As an added bonus, I've got some freebies for you for meal planning, grocery list, a weekly to-do list, and notes to make your own notepad. So don't forget to grab those in the link below. Here we are in Silhouette Studio, and you can see I've already uploaded. These are SVGs, so you will need Designer's Edition or higher to be able to import these. But I've got each one here, and they're their own group for all the things. So we're going to go ahead and on the page setup, turn on our registration marks. And then for my particular printer, I have to bring this bottom inset up. And then I can just take these and get them placed in here. I like to also turn on my print and my cut border just to make sure that everything's within the confines of what needs to happen so that everything will cut and print out correctly. And I'm gonna try to get down to that edge because I want to have a little bit of a space in between both of these so they will cut out. Okay, and then you can go ahead and send that to the print. And this is your print preview, and I just want to make sure this is my print border, and I want to make sure all of my registration marks are within that. That looks good. And then I can go ahead and print that. The other thing I'm going to do is add a box around each one of these designs. So I'm just gonna draw out a box, and then I'm gonna zoom in, and I'm gonna make that box nice and tight around my design. And I want to make sure I've got right to the edge of the color part. So I'm just clicking and dragging that red line all the way to the edge. Okay, that looks good. I'm going to go ahead and zoom back out. And then I also want to make sure that line is a color that is not on anything else, and it is. So I'm going to make a copy of that. So I'm going to hold down the Shift key. The Alt key to click and drag. Oop. Control Z to undo. I only want that red line. There we go. Click and drag that red line, and then I'm going to put that around the other sheet here. So I'm going to get it roughly into place, and then I'm going to zoom in and try to just move that. These should be the same size. You should be able to just get that in line where you want it. And then I'm just going to scroll down, check that bottom corner. You can move that up. And then I'm just going to check all four corners to make sure that everything's in line. That looks good. And now let's check the top. Looks good. Okay, now we're going to go to the sun panel. And then when you go to cut this out, you can see even if you hit cut edge, it still is going to cut everything out. So we're going to go to line color, and I'm only going to cut the red because that is the line around this. Now when I made mine, I did them out of a heavier cardstock just because I wanted mine thicker, and putting them on the mat to cut them out, I was a little worried that copy paper would not survive getting peeled off the mat. My mat is pretty sticky, so if your mat is not quite so sticky, you can make this on regular copy paper and you'll be okay. So I'm going to do that, and then I can just send this to cut, and we're only going to cut that red line around each one. And then you'll do the same thing for the other page that is the weekly to-dos and notes page. So that is how you work with those in Silhouette. All right, I have all of my cards here. So I just put them in order. I did the meal plan, the grocery list, the weekly to-do list, and then the note page. You can certainly do them whatever order you want or make more of the notes. I just went ahead and did the 4 and I put them all together. You know, the Silhouette cuts, even with the print and cut, slightly off sometimes, so these are probably not completely perfect. And I've just got a scrap piece of paper that I'm going to wrap around the top edge here, just to protect everything a little bit more, especially when I'm putting these clips on. And then I'm just going to make sure everything's nice. Let's just do one side at a time. Just going to try to get that side nice and even. And then I've got these alligator binder clips we'll put on the sides. And that is just to help hold everything together. Okay. Looks good. And again, I'm just going to try to make sure this top is nice and even. That looks good. Okay, so I've got my clips on the sides. My top looks nice and even. I've got my original tacky glue, and I will link to this below. And then I've just got a little sponge brush. I believe this came either Walmart or the Dollar Tree. I have a lot of these laying around. So we're just gonna open this up. I've got my sides clipped on there. I'm flush on the top. I've dipped in some glue here. And then I'm just going to brush one coat straight across the top. And I'm trying not to get on the edges. Got down the back side. Trying to just brush straight across the top. I've got a little too much here, so I'm just trying to dab mine around. Clean it up. So these would make excellent gifts to your organized friends. They can also be something that you would sell at a craft show. I think they would sell like hotcakes. You know, everybody's trying to get organized. So this would be a great stocking stuffer. Could certainly do different pages and just do all notes or all grocery lists or all meal plans. You know, there's lots of different ways you can do that. And I think they would sell really well. Okay, so there is my one coat on there, and I'm gonna let that sit and dry probably about 5-10 minutes, and then we'll go ahead and do another coat, and then we'll take a look at what it looks like. It's been, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 minutes. You can see I put that extra binder clip on there. Other things to note, you want to really work that glue all the way out to the edge, because that's especially where you're gonna have issues where it's tearing apart. And so now we can just take our binder clips off. And I made mine out of 110-pound cardstock, a little bit thicker. That's just because that's the way I wanted these for me. You can certainly make them out of just regular copy paper. It's going to be a little bit more difficult cutting them on your machine because they might rip on the cutting mat. So maybe a little 65-pound or something else, somewhere in between. But here is our paper pad, and you can see those pages are going to hold on there very nicely. So let's do a little flip show. There you have it. That's how you can make your own tear-off notepads with Silhouette Studio. Don't forget to grab your own copy of these ones for free down below.